Leader Castro, you're recognized.
Just want to kind of go over the numbers with me, and I had to step out, and I apologize. So the success rate on these transactions, and I won't call them loans, the success rate is 80%. So for every...
No, I didn't say that.
No, okay. So I stepped out, so forgive me.
Yeah, I said that historically there could be as an average rate of, say, 20-something percent that are failures, that do not collect.
Is there no...
Now, to say that that's an 80% success rate is not correct, because what's a success? Now, if you collect 100% of the money that was laid out, that would be a success. But of those 80%, you might, in a case where a person settled for less than the amount, you might actually negotiate down the amount of money that person would have to repay, because there wouldn't be money access out of the amounts paid to them to be refunded.
And I guess this is where I get frustrated, because you gentlemen are dealing with successful business people all across the country who invest in your company. And so if I'm going to go to those type individuals, I'm going to tell them exactly what my success rate is, what percent I collect, what percent I have to negotiate down. And I guess I get a little frustrated, because those numbers are out there, we just can't seem to grasp. Because if an entity like yourself, and I'll just pick a number and I realize I may be wrong, but let's say I'm 80% successful in collecting what I put out there, and I'm making 40% return on my money. If you crunch in $10,000 as your average investment, and you crunch in 40 or 50 of those a year, that's some real return. I mean, that's some real money. Some folks are making some money on your side as well.
Yeah, but maybe you missed the point that I started out with.
And I wasn't here.
I do apologize, Mr. Casada, if you weren't here, for not paying attention, who was there. But I have $100 that I loan out. Okay? Let's take the 20% number that you used. So now I'm at $120 for that. That's how much that money's costing me. Now, let's say that I'm a businessman who can get access to money at 1,800 basis points, 2,000 basis points. So 18%, 20%. I'm now at 44%. 44% before I've even made $1, or before I've expended any money to make that money. So if my overhead, let's put my overhead at a minimum of, and anybody who's done business here, if you can do your overhead at 30%, you're doing a great job in life. Okay, so let's put that 40% plus that 30%. That's 70% for me to lend out that $1. See, you're with a point. I don't know. Were you here when I talked about how much access?
I was not.
Okay. Do you know what a bank gets money for? Roughly, it gets it for about 1%.
I know they don't pay me much. I know that.
Right. A bank gets it for about 100 basis points. Okay. So for 1% that bank gets their money, when they borrow the money, they can lend it out to you at 5 or 6 or 7%. They're making 4 or 5% on it. But what do they know? They know that when they lent it to you, they're going to get it back. They know that they've got collateral for it. They know that they're going to be able to evaluate, using your credit score, your likelihood of paying it. And if you don't have a high score, they're going to move that 4% or 5% to 6%, 7%, 8%. But they know they're going to get paid back. When a company in this business goes out to get money for funding, they're paying 18 to 20% for those funds, because there isn't a likelihood that it'll be repaid, because the rates that you talked about as businessmen that we'd show about how much we return, and that's why we're paying 20% and 18% for money.